Happy Monday, everybody. I am currently frozen solid, trying to defrost over a Starbucks drink and some biscuits and gravy that Mr. Eve so lovingly picked up for me. He had to drive in some sleet and snow. So thank you, Mr. Eve, for risking your life so that we all can have breakfast. We appreciate you. Welcome in, Chris. Good to see you. One life to live. My girl, good to see you, Widow 13. So glad you are a member now, and I'm so glad that you're checking out my members only. Do not fear. In the very, very near future, the spiritual spooky dooky stuff will resume. I know I've said that before, and I've been a big fat liar, but believe me, this time. Put your DNA on that thumbs up button. Show our girl some love for all of her hard work. Thank you, Widow. President accounted for, OG Brooke. As always, thank you, thank you. Who else we got? Of course, Mr. Eve. Waiting for my girl Shani. I know she'll be in here sometime today. Lucia Williamson, hello, hello. And if I missed you, I'm sorry that I missed you. Horsewoman, glad to see you. Mazikin and Wilted Lettuce. And if I missed you, sorry about that. Welcome in. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for coming in. Leave a comment on this video if you have any questions or have any concerns about the content reviewed today. It might get a little spicy. So go ahead and hit that like button while you wait. Or dislike button, whatever you prefer. But if you do like this content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't be shy. All right. So what's going on the agenda today? Hey, Liz. Good to see you. Well, as you know, Stacy Wondra did an interview, and I'm kind of disappointed in some of the things, but as long as he is talking, because he is named a suspect in the Michael Vaughan case, I think that we need to review what was said. It's very, in my opinion, sometimes it can be one-sided with these news interviews, but I do feel like I found a gem of what he said. And I do believe that he believes he is not a part of any of this. So let's watch the video, and I want to get your thoughts and opinions on this. We'll also read the article as well. Damn you, KTVB, with your ridiculousness. Please update your website.
I'm here to clear my name.
The people of Fruitland Police is now calling a suspect in the abduction of Michael Monkey Vaughan. Spoke to News 7 Investigates Morgan Romero. Fruitland's police chief told us for the first time Stacy Wondra is a suspect in the little boy's disappearance. His wife Sarah was previously charged with failure to report Michael's death, but that charge was dropped several months later, though she remains a suspect. Now, along with the Wondras, police labeled two men who lived with them, Adrian Lucien and Brandon Shirtliff, suspects who absolutely know what happened to Michael. 5 years old at the time, Michael disappeared from his Fruitland home on Southwest 9th Street on July 27, 2021. In November of 2022, we were there as crews searched and excavated the property where those four suspects lived, just a 2-minute drive from the Vaughn's home. Police said.
All right, so you heard it. They're stating that Stacy and Sarah are absolutely suspects, including the other two. We have not heard any updates on that matter. From my understanding, the news was kind of whoever was writing the articles at the time, especially Argus and Idaho Statesman, I believe, or Idaho News 6, it was kind of like, well, they thought they were, we don't know now. So once everything was handed off to the DA, it was like, we don't know what to really call them. There was no update whatsoever. And the DA is going to continue probably to refuse to answer questions. And I don't know if the DA and Fruitland Police are on the same page. I have no idea. But let's continue listening.
Said they had credible information from someone living in the Wandra's house that Michael's body was there. Human remains, dogs alerted, but ultimately Michael wasn't found. Police believe Michael was buried in the yard and then moved. Fruitland Police sent probable cause to the Payette County prosecutor last summer to be presented to a grand jury. Police Chief J.D. Huff says a grand jury hasn't convened yet, but they will soon.
So did you hear that? A grand jury hasn't been convened yet, even though they just said that a grand jury, it was getting sent over to the DA's office to go to the grand jury. And from my understanding, there definitely was one, at least in early August, maybe late July of last year, because they posted it. They posted it on the website. It could have been for, honestly, anything. It could have been a, let's see what we can get. Is this going to be enough? You know how they do. Basically, in my opinion, grand jury is used to skirt around some details that they don't want anybody to maybe know or question about. Sometimes I feel like it can be a shady way to charge somebody, like the Karen Reed case, but I won't go into that. That's just my opinion on it. So I don't know what that grand jury meeting was in July or August of 2023. I probably will never know, right? But maybe they're not on the same page, or I don't know what I'm talking about.
Although that case centers around the Wandras and their roommates, Stacy tells us he knows nothing about Michael's abduction.
Stacy Wondra, S-T-A-C-E-Y.
It's been 2 months since Stacy Wandra was released from federal custody, convicted of a gun crime, unrelated to the disappearance of little Michael Vaughan.
And what have you been doing since?
I've been trying to live my life the best way I can.
Stacy agreed to interview with me to, quote, clear his name.
I have no reason to hide anything from anybody. I'm not that type of person. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything, and I will tell you an honest answer to it.
Were you involved in the disappearance of Michael Vaughan?
No.
Why do police think you were?
I have no idea.
Stacy thinks law enforcement's case may hinge on Adrian Lucien, one of the men living with Stacy and his wife at the time Michael disappeared.
So from my understanding, the way that Adrian came into play is that he was like living behind a dumpster or something, which that's hard to believe. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. In Caldwell, I couldn't tell you, but I think Stacy is leaning towards Adrian because he's kind of the odd man out of the group. He kind of was a rando, right? That Sarah wanted to take in and help because of her godly duties to help thy neighbor, especially her actual neighbor and his ex-wife. You know, winter was approaching, and she let the ex-wife in, who has hearing difficulties, if you will. She is, I believe, fully deaf, or at least partially deaf. So, yeah, that's just the nature of Sarah and her heart. But maybe Stacy is saying, if anybody could have done it, maybe it's Adrian, because he's kind of the oddball.
One of the men police are calling a suspect.
Any clues or evidence that could point to that, from your knowledge?
No.
Okay.
I would never have thought Sarah or Brendan or Adrian would, maybe Adrian, but I wouldn't have thought Sarah or Brendan would have ever done something like this. I was not even home at the night of the disappearance. I know that at that nighttime, Sarah, Brendan, and I had...
But not his wife. But I thought I heard Adrian is a good dad. No, I mean, they don't really know him that well, from my understanding. Oh, no. Let me know if you can hear me. Oh, okay. I think Brooke retracted it so she can hear me, or everybody can, right? We're good? We're good? Okay, good. So let me reiterate what I was saying because I don't know what was missed. We don't know what, why he thinks that from this interview so far. I think that because Adrian is the odd man out and he's the rando that just came to live with them because of Sarah's religious heart to help thy neighbor. I think that that's maybe where he's coming from my understanding. But let's continue. Maybe I missed something. Maybe there's something that he can say that will pull it all together.
Us that I used to work for, I think I spent maybe an hour and a half, and then had come back home. And the neighborhood was completely solitude. It was quiet.
Stacy claims he, Brandon, and Sarah left their house and headed to Cuna to tow Brandon's car around 5:30 to 6 p.m. on July 27, 2021. Brandon blew a spark plug and couldn't drive it, he says. Fruitland police believe Monkey went missing between 6:40 and 7 p.m. that night.
When we got back, I think about between 9 and 10 o'clock at night, we noticed there was an excessive amount of people out in the community walking around the neighborhood. We had stopped and asked what was going on, and they said that a boy had been abducted or been taken, and it was news to me. It was news.
So, you know how I did those videos of my theories on about when they left versus when they got back? I wasn't too far off, but maybe about 30 minutes, maybe 30 to 45 minutes. I'm still not convinced about when he left because in the interview with Brooke from Crime Lines and Lies, he says that, they left at 5:30 to 6. But remember, Tyler Vaughn said he saw Monkey up until 6:30. So, I don't know. But it would take quite a few hours to get to Cuna and back. And it falls, what he's saying falls right in line with how long it takes to get there and back. I have a feeling that they did go. Otherwise, you have two other witnesses like Brandon and actually you have three people that should be able to back up at least some of this. And that includes Adrian when getting back to 1102 Red Wing, their home, the Wandra's home, from the Nampa trip. It makes sense to me, but let's continue.
News to Sarah, what it seemed like, and Brandon. We got home, Brandon and Sarah decided they were going to go look for the boy, and I was in the process of getting the vehicle detached from the truck because it was taking up the whole length of the street pretty much.
Stacy later clarified to me he wasn't initially told Michael was abducted, just that he was missing. And where was Adrian that day?
Now, he did say that a police officer told him that the boy was abducted, but then he kind of says, I guess we assume that. I think a police officer told me there's a kid that has been abducted. I'm not going to put too much stock in that because everybody was saying that on Facebook. Y'all, everybody. And that's what we're going to be reviewing in the future is the original Facebook posts that some of it's deleted, some of it's you can't find if you go and search it, but the screenshots are there. And I think that was just the consensus at the time, no matter who you were, right? Because this is Fruitland, Idaho. This doesn't happen here. The chief of police grew up here with and has kids here. So I think that was just something everybody was assuming, maybe.
Adrian and Brandon and Sarah all took a trip to Boise in the morning before I did my taxi ride. It was Adrian wanted to go see his kid.
He claims Adrian stayed in either Boise or Nampa all night.
Is that what they told you, or do you know that to be true for a fact?
I mean, that's just what I'm going based off of. I mean, I was told the same thing that's, all over. I wasn't with them.
Human cadaver dogs are highly reliable. Why?
So, Adrian allegedly comes back home before the tow. So this is kind of like, okay, what happened? And from what I understand from Brandon's interview, he did not go with them to tow, right? Adrian is kind of the lone read, if you will, that needs a little bit of scrutiny, because we don't really know for a fact where he was and what happened. But I will tell you that I would assume in Idaho, you would have reports of seeing a 6-foot-something black man with tattoos. You would definitely be hearing about it in a small town such as this. And it's nothing against, I'm not saying a town is not nice to those who are not Caucasian or anything like that. What I'm saying is that neighborhood is predominantly white. You would hear about it. And that's how people describe those who they see by their race, period. Which is, what makes me laugh when Bullhorn Betty said, the walking man is Adrian Lucene. I had a good chuckle and made fun of her for it. Because that is just doo-doo. But I don't see, I'm just not sure. And I think Adrian's whereabouts would probably clear up a lot if we could have known that information.
Did police tell you that human cadaver dogs pinged on your property at that home?
They didn't really give an explanation. They just said that the dogs had hit around the property. But, I mean, there was nothing. I don't even know how that's even feasible because like I said, I've never even heard of this kid. I've never seen this kid. Never knew anything about him.
Police said that they believe Michael's body was buried there and then moved. Can you think of any time that his body would have been buried there and then moved? Does anything stand out to you?
Not at all. They were saying that he was buried by the shed. Makes absolutely no sense. There's been no dig marks. There's no trench marks. There's nothing.
So I had like a kind of a light bulb moment. I've done a lot of research around neighbors around 1102. I've heard multiple times neighbors diagonal or beside or across or behind their residents come up in just certain little discussions and my own research, which I sleuth a lot, more so than anybody. I know things. And so let's just say, speculatively, let's just say people were watching. They know they're aware. They know that house is pretty active. And they know typically who's coming in and out of that house. Let's just say a neighbor. Okay. And they know that they're all leaving in one big truck to go wherever. And let's just say they're waiting for Mr. Adrian, and he could be not passed out. I don't know. He could have been somewhere else. He maybe never came home and Brandon doesn't remember shit. I don't know. But let's just say nobody was home at 6 o'clock all the way up until they return. Let's just say that. What if something happened to Monkey? Somebody had him or whatever the case may be. And they put him on that property for a minute, trying to figure out what to do. Now, remember, there was 2 vehicles that were put out there, the Honda Pilot and the Blue Avenger. I'm going to tell you this right now. The Blue Avenger is a direct neighbor to the left and behind, if you will, if you're facing out of their door. And the Honda Pilot is down the street to the right all the way to the end. From my alleged understanding, could be wrong. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty by law. This is all speculative. unless I say otherwise. So let's just say I'm right. And what if somebody was hot riding or being an idiot or got called? Maybe they were working for the taxi company and people forgot about it. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. There were so many people working apparently for them that nobody can remember shit. So what if somebody had known that they were gone? I don't know. Or maybe they did damn well do it. I don't know. But it's a possibility. So I'm wondering what police would have that would solidify their guilt. That's what I'm trying to get at. Because it's really sucky that people have to go, what if, especially a jury of their peers, if or when they get charged.
The ground was a complete grassed area.
Could it have happened when you weren't around and it was potentially covered up?
It could have, very possibly. I just know that I wasn't around for any of it. I have no idea. I would like to know what happened to him.
They did say that they recovered several pieces of evidence at your home and on your property. Do you know what those pieces of evidence were?
Well, it's news to me.
The day after our interview,
He was playing with something.
Stacy gave a YouTuber a new piece of information.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to recollect as best as I can for you.
He, Brandon, and Sarah pulled over to put power steering fluid in his car right after they left for Kuna the day Michael was abducted. He says they saw a child playing by himself on the sidewalk down the street, around the corner from the Vaughn's home.
The kid that I saw did not depict Michael. I mean, he wasn't like a little kid, you know what I mean? Like he was, that's why I said it didn't concern me at all that he was out and about doing his thing.
Stacy says he doesn't know what's in the probable cause affidavit police sent to prosecutors. The one police say centers around him, Sarah, Adrian, and
I hope that it's not, God just told me who did it. Right? Like, I hope that that's not part of it. And if it is, I mean, cool. What else you got? Why is it taking so long, etc.? Is it because of the staffing issues in the DA's office? I don't know. Hi, Stars the Outlaw. That's what the commissioners' meeting was discussing just a few months ago. We cannot staff. We cannot properly defend our clients with what we have. So maybe that's why.
Brandon.
Do you think police have anything on you or your wife?
I personally know for a fact they don't have anything against me or on me. I have no knowledge. Again, I wasn't even home. I have no knowledge of who this little boy is, his whereabouts, or anything about him.
In his interview with the YouTuber, Stacy said his attorney told him he's no longer a person of interest in Michael's abduction. Chief Huff tells me that's not true. When I called Stacy's attorney to get a straight answer, his attorney told me,
Hey,
quote,
Dandy
"I have
Lioness."
no comment at this time," and hung up.
So that Thomas lawyer I was talking about that, represents indigent persons who can't afford an attorney. He said no comment, hung up the phone, and a smart defense attorney would do that. Or he's like, excuse me, I don't have nothing to do with this shit. I ain't answering nothing. He's crazy. So we don't really know one way or the other.
I also reached out to Michael's mom, Brandy Neal, to let her know about this interview airing. She was appreciative and said the most important thing in the world is to get Michael home.
Treasure Valley, please allow me to introduce Dollar Loan Center.
Ooh, scammy. All right. So let's look at the article really quickly, because sometimes there's more information in the article than there is on the video. Let's make sure we cover everything, because I got something for you. It's very important to dive into what Chief Huff said.
Fruitland.
Oh, well, that worked out really well. Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff confirmed that Stacy Wondra is a suspect in the little boy's disappearance. His wife, Sarah, was previously charged, which was dropped. However, she remains a suspect. Let's just get that clear. That per J.D. Huff, they sus. And he sent everything over to the district attorney's office to charge they ass. And not only them, the two that were living there, Adrian and Brandon. And he said to homegirl Morgan, suspects who absolutely know what happened to Michael. They absolutely know. I mean, that's like definitively to me. Good morning, Jeep, Jeep. Who's got the keys to the Jeep? Beep, beep. So, what do they have, I wonder? What was the evidence that was missed in the April 2022 dog bone looking ass Tanner Butler incident? What did they not find in that crawl space or backyard or whatever? Now, I don't like to speculate on hi, just me. Good to see you. I don't like to speculate too hard on what locals are saying and what's speculation out there, but I do find it very interesting that I've heard about clothing articles and such. There's been mention of a scooter. I have no clue. It's been a hot button topic. However, JD Huff did mention that this alleged scooter is evidentiary in nature and he will not speak on it, so that gives me a little pause. But I'm not going to speculate on that godforsaken scooter when we have no idea where to even begin with it. No idea. So I'm going to skip over what we all know. Excavation in November of 2022. Police say they had credible information from someone living in the Wandra's house that Michael's body was there. All human remain dogs brought in alerted to remains, but ultimately Michael was not found. Police believe he was buried in the backyard and then later moved. He went missing in July 2021. Dog bone incident, April 2022. I believe there was a medical emergency right after MJ disappeared. Did anybody see, smell, hear anything at all? I don't know. You would think that they would have, and the neighbor would have been like, something is rotten in Denmark. And I don't know why no one saw or smelled or, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. And maybe they did, and they just said, nah, couldn't be. I don't know. But I don't see anything on those 911 call logs that suggest that there is anything like that. So I don't really have that speculation to go on. But I have been looking, and I have been reviewing again just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And there are some call log reports that are blacked out where I can't see it from when they were sent originally. So I don't know. I can't really speculate or request something I don't know to request. So let's continue. Fruitland Police sent probable cause to Payette County prosecutor last summer to be presented to a grand jury. Is July still considered summer? I would think so. Early August? Yeah, for sure. So maybe it was a grand jury meeting and it all fell apart. They needed more. Maybe They weren't convinced that there was enough evidence. And JD Huff might not know that it fell apart. I don't know. I would assume that they would talk, but what do I know? Loveday Jones, was neighbor's ex-wife staying with them at some time? Absolutely. I don't know exactly the date, but I know that it was at least around September, August, September, October, because that's what Sarah Wondra admitted to in a TikTok. So let's continue. Although the case centers around the Wandras and their roommates, Stacy said, "It ain't about me. I didn't do nothing. I'm here to clear my name. I can't tell you 100% that they did or didn't do anything. I just know what I know. And I'm telling you this information." Excuse me. So I have no reason to hide anything from anybody, right? I'm not that type of person. So why does JD Huff say, "You're wrong"? Why does he believe you absolutely know, definitively know? Maybe it's because he said something. You know, they haven't talked about this at all, especially from Fruitland Police side, because the DA had it. The DA is like, "I ain't saying shit." So maybe that's what he truly believes. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe somebody who has an agenda to speak to reporters in other states want to push that agenda. I don't know. Yeah, so I did a taxi ride from Ontario to Boise. I know that I was gone a good portion of the day from like 1 in the afternoon till 4, as he said. Who? That's interesting. What if the timeline is doo-doo when he went missing, Michael? What if that taxi ride from Ontario to Boise was shady as fuck? I'm sure they could clarify. I'm sure they could get records and all that stuff. Maybe he was like, "Well, that taxi ride was me, some rando guy." And he was acting like they didn't know each other. And it was all a farce. So hard to speculate. So then he says, they headed to Kuna, and I do believe this happened. And I'm sure many others do too. Even the haters probably agree with me on that. So how could they have done what they've done when at least that part of the Kuna ride seems to be legitimate? I don't know. It only leaves Adrian to be questioned. And he ain't talking at all. He's doing model stuff. He's doing bougie shit, promoting, what is it? What is it? Balenciaga or whatever it's called? I don't know. I don't do style and fashion shit. But he's doing his own thing, being a model, a voice actor, traveling, Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C. Right? He's a busy man. He didn't have time to be talking to no police. Little Texan, yeah, it's freezing here too. Susanna says, what if the dirt was being done while he was going to Boise? I mean, right. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't really know what was going on between, let's say, 3 o'clock onward to 6:30. Neighbors aren't really going to come out there and tell you what they saw, except for one. And the other one on the other side was like, block, delete. I will never answer you again. Shut down. So, really can't say anything. I can't have conjecture on stuff like that if I don't know if there's even a rumor, right? So he says they came back with 17 cars, dogs, and shovels dug where the dog alluded to the following day. Interesting. They found nothing but my leaky toilet. This is Tina. Sorry, I skipped that part. Brandon Shirtlif's mother and Kuna, where they actually went to go get that water refill and all that stuff. I wonder if they forgot that they stopped by another place. I wonder if someone forgot, oh shit, I went there too. I went here too. I bet you there is something missing here. Just a little inkling. I'm sure others have inklings too, like the ones like doing the reactions with the smiley faces. Yeah, you know, bitches. He claims Adrian stayed in either Boise or Nampa all night. Interesting. When asked if he knew that for a fact, or if that was just what they told him, Wondra said that is what he's going based off what they said. I don't know who they said is. But that's all he has to go by because he really doesn't know for a fact. So let's jump into the police part. Or let me rephrase what the interview details are with Stacy, what he said. The day after he spoke to Romero, Wondra gave a YouTuber a new piece of information. He, Brandon, and Sarah pulled over at Southwest 8th Street in South Arizona, where Michael was last seen, allegedly. You know, that was kind of like the second or third rendition of seeing him. The first one was Cornwall Way, Southwest 8th in Arizona. Then it started shrinking down from Cornwall, Southwest 8th in Arizona to, I think Three Rivers Way was even mentioned at one point. That could have been a whoopsie daisy. Who knows? Then it shrunk down to Southwest 8th in Arizona and then near his home. Who knows? So they were putting power steering fluid in the car right after they left for Kuna. That the day Michael was abducted, he saw a child playing by himself on the sidewalk down on the street between Southwest 8th in Arizona and South Washington Avenue. Now, we have heard Brandy say, and when we're going to get into the replaying the stuff from the beginning again, you will hear this. You will hear that she was told that scent was at the end of the street towards Washington, which is the divider road that cuts Southwest 8th, where you can turn left and go on to Southwest 8th from Southwest 9th. So, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? But then you'll also hear that the scent was carried down the towards the river. That's how scent works. It just picked up and went all the way down into the rolling hills by the river. You'll never know. You'll never know the truth until trial. All right. What time did Brandy leave that day? Sorry if it's been said. No worries. It's been a while since you've been here, so it was at 12. She had to go to work at Albertsons. You had to be there, I think, at 12:15, if my memory serves me correctly. Go ahead and put a laughy reaction if you agree, Weasels. Be great. Get that good confirmation. And I think her break was at 4, something like that, where Brandy said, I spoke to the kiddos when that couldn't have happened because sister was not home yet, but I digress. So Stacy again says the kid I saw did not depict Michael. If I had to guess, he was 7, 8, 9. See, they don't mention that in the interview. That's really interesting that they like to skip out the stuff that's fucking important. Like, yeah, 7, 8, 9 is not Michael. He said he did not depict Michael. He was brown haired. Oh, okay. Oh no, little Texan. Good deal, Chris. So he added that he does not know what's in the probable cause, blah, 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 blah. I personally know for a fact they didn't have anything against me, but police are like, look at these several pieces of evidence that I sent to a private lab for some reason. But maybe to speed up the process here. Haven't heard nothing. Rocky situation, right? In his interview with the YouTuber, his attorney told him he's no longer a person of interest. We can't get Thomas to confirm that. Why would they? Because things could change, maybe, potentially. So he said, no comment, kick rocks, end call. They call Brandy and go, have you heard? And she's like, yes, I'm in a chat room right now, going over the Jerks Discord exposure, getting some popcorn ready, but everything is important. Thanks, bye. So that's what happened there. Allegedly, I don't know. I'm just being an ass. So, what do I know about things that were seen that day? What were the reports? What was going on? Remember, we said that we were going to review this. Let me check in with chat before I get started. Absolutely, Dandy. Thank you for being here. Susiana says it's a neighborhood with children on summer break. Surely MV wasn't the only one playing outside. Right. Well, remember the whole 3 kids on a scooter story? And the mom was in the air conditioner being smart, driving behind or the 3 kiddos, because mom was like, y'all kids can burn up. I ain't. But I'm also going to watch you and make sure that nobody gets you. I wonder what time that was. I wonder if that was on camera. That'd be cool.
Welcome.
Welcome, Linda Lohi. That's not a made-up name. Welcome in. One Life to Live, it was way over 100. And it had been over 100 for like multiple weeks. Well, smack my ass. I don't think JD Huff has anything on the 4 people. Michael didn't have a scooter. Well, I think his brother did. We know that there was a scooter at the house at one point. I ain't even going to go there. You can go refer to Krusty on that shit. Who cares? Because we're not going to know. We're not. So what do I know about shit? Well, I do know that people were like, it was a male with a white shirt. We all saw that yesterday, dragging a kid down. Then we have neighbors a few days later saying female was there too. But we can't confirm exactly when that was. Maybe they were searching and that's where they saw these people. I don't know what Sarah was wearing either. I don't know what any of them were wearing. They didn't say. And I highly doubt they remember. Shit, I don't remember what I wore yesterday. I just don't. Just Me says, I do not believe that any of the 4 suspects are involved. I agree. Well, Smack My Ass says a neighbor said that she was wrong about the day Michael was at her house, said it was on Monday. Yes. And that the dogs never hit at she made it very clear. And this is the Southwest Arizona and Southwest 9th neighbor, the very corner, right next to Michael's house, to the left, if you're looking at their house. She said they were there at my house the night before, and the dogs never came in and hit or searched in the house. Oh, really now? Okay. But her hubby, so she was at work, her hubby saw him go into his yard, say, can I play or whatever. No, little buddy, go back to your house, and watched him go allegedly, around the mailbox. But then Michael was like, nah, I'm going to keep on going, keep on keeping on. Lose my flip-flop maybe. Somebody saw my flip-flop being lost off of my foot, per one of the neighbors. That seemed to have been wrong. I don't know. We're not going to get into that right now. We will later. But what I'm trying to get at is none of what you hear about those details are going to help you in any way or help Michael in any way. Because it would have by now. But it's the little things. When you listen to the little bitty things that are said, like, Brandy went and walked in the alfalfa field or by the cornfield on this day and talked to this person. Something may have, something right there could potentially give a tip or spur a thought of a local. You know, there was a picture on July 27, 2022, by the way, which was a year after MJ disappeared, where they did an interview with Tyler a few days before that. There's a picture of a guy on a white truck who is, I don't know if he is family, but he was parked on the edge of that property, that private property towards the river on Southwest 8th when it spits you out, where you can go down towards the river or curve around. He was parked there, took a picture. I don't know why he was there. Thought it was very interesting. From my research, I don't see why he would be there or he would have any reason to be there. So it's those little things that maybe there's a connection there from the research that has been done. You never know. Because tips from public help solve crimes more than police actually solve crimes. That's statistics. That's the facts. Love Day Jones says, what if someone gave Sarah a sob story about rescuing a child? Something like that. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But, you know, what would lead you to that? You know what I mean? Like, that would be great speculation. But if there was something that can trigger that and we could chase that, that would be great. So now the next step, in my opinion, is let's watch or listen to things that have been said, as mundane as it is, once again, until something news-breaking or newsworthy happens. Let's just start fresh. Let's get everybody up to date because not everybody understands the backstory of how this all started with the information being put out there, etc. And I'm going to give you an example. Give me just about a minute to pull something up for you.
Mad. I'm very mad.
I understand, babe. Crystal and I have been all damn day too.
Oh, hell, not this again.
You have every right in the fucking world you have to be angry.
Yeah. I'm trying to calm down. Buggy's down.
Too bad you don't smoke weed. I tell you to go take a hit.
Ooh. Smoke them trees, girl.
We'll just, yep. Deep breath, but he's a Cowboys fan, and the Cowboys are stomping the shit out of Washington right now. So I don't even know why he wants to go watch the game. Probably just so he's like, I'll give you space, love.
How lovely.
Probably would be best at this point in time.
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
it
if I want
smells. I'm gonna take a breath. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a breath. And you
Anything
all
tip
have
worthy yet?
been so kind and keep supporting us. And shit, when I just need to, say I'm gonna put my fist through the wall because I don't know what else to do. Like, how more open can I be? I am frustrated, and I am upset, and I am angry. Because you know what? I am 30.
Oh, I mean, maybe that wasn't probably the right one to go after. Maybe there's one better. Maybe I messed up there. I thought that was a really good one. The drama, right? That everybody seems to love to fawn over for months and months. What about this one? Ooh.
She was cutting out pretty bad.
I see our skills better used elsewhere.
Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I reached out to Dope Soul earlier, and I had asked her if
Shout out.
she could get the police report through the Freedom of Information Act from the police department. And apparently
God.
she's tried and she's been denied, and their excuse.
Oh, no. Sticking her nose in business you don't have no business in. I didn't even know about this. So, until later. I was behind on the times, y'all. So there was a group of people that really were super interested in sleuthing, like I am. It wasn't just me. But thank God. I appreciate that hard work. Because now we can really get the people's attention and listen. Just don't backslide, that's all.
It's still under investigation. And then I thought, okay, I wonder if the Fruitland Police Department has a police blotter, because a blotter shouldn't be something that's not public right away. Like a police blotter, you can go online and you can look at their blotter report saying, okay, this happened at this time, but it won't give you all the exact details, but at least there's a time for when, like, the call.
Police blotters. Yeah, that. Anyway. Well, maybe this isn't a good one. What about. Oh, hold on, y'all. One moment.
You got blocked.
Where they wanted him.
Right.
Oh.
Do you live near Fruitland? And I'm like,
Nah, maybe another day. Mr. E said, sorry, everyone, our kiddos have been needy. Yes, they have. Absolutely. She sounds gullible enough to do something stupid, put it that way. Maybe. Jeep girl, lines should be drawn and not crossed. Agreed. And you fuck around, you find out, though. Jeep. Right? Don't stress, Mr. E. More of us are parents. We get it. That's so nice. Thank you. What about...
Town Square Media Station. Kevin Miller Mornings. Sean Hannity Afternoons. KIDO Talk Radio 107.5 FM 580 AM. KIDO Nampa. Fox News Now.
50 million booster shots. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The U.S. will like.
Sean Hannity.
Senator John Cornyn actually questioned if Biden is really in charge.
Weekdays.
Child.
And so Lord.
I have a few ideas that I'd like to convey to them, but the listening audience is not going to get to hear that. It's got to be classified until success is achieved. And so that's why I came out here. Besides, I got a free banana for getting a cup of coffee.
Well, first of all, we want to thank you for driving on the icy roads. That's dedication, and I wish we could give you a banana, but I guess Jackson's gave you that.
Yeah, Jackson's gave me that banana.
Right.
It's their marketing technique or something.
To somebody seeing something and spurring some type of recollection.
Well, from where I operate, it's very simple. I can say it direct. It's going to offend a lot of people, but I don't care. God is on my side. And when I have a problem that I can't solve, I just knock on his door and say, give me the answer. And because
corner of the world.
It's at nraa.net or
acres of surrounding land. No clues. Just to the west of the family home lie the Snake River and Interstate 84. Could a predator passing through have picked the boy up and hit the road?
Please, please, please help me. Please help me bring my baby home.
Officials have been flooded with more than 500 tips from around the globe. 2 leads they still need the public's help with: identifying the driver of this white Honda Pilot and a man with dark hair seen walking toward lower drainage behind the neighborhood around the time Michael went missing.
Well, hot damn, it was right there the whole time. So is there a separation between Tyler, who confirmed going back there, Brandy confirms it, and another man? Did Tyler see another man back there? What time was it? Allegedly after the guy that was walking near the splash pad. But I never thought that they were separate people. So, but allegedly they are. So it would be great to know if Tyler saw anybody as he was looking. Or was it just missed him at the nick of time, right? Be good to know.
I have a feeling that someone may have been watching us, and that's my feeling. That's my mama's heart feeling.
Brandy firmly denies Michael's disappearance was at the hands of someone the family knows. And with the changing of the seasons comes new concern for his warmth and well-being.
And now that it is snowing and it's cold, I mean, that must mix in a new level of concern for you as his mom every day.
We'll hear more from this show coming up, but your reaction at 580-5436. 580-KIDO, where you have a go slow. You're going to lose control of your vehicle if you don't. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Don't forget as well on our website some great stories. Which
news, there was more inflation last month.
Are now eligible for a COVID
State, the Boise State School of Innovation. The picture on the Idaho Press, he looks like a very wonderful young man, and we hope to once again eventually get back to CWI. But
I found out what it was. I had my hearing aids in under my headphones, and that really messes up my phone system.
So you see, it was very discombobulated from the fucking beginning over there. Not to mention Twitterland. Maybe not everybody, but there was a lot of unknowns. And so when people were talking about Michael, it got really muddled. So much so that nobody knew shit until potentially, and we still don't know shit, right? But December 2021 is when things really kicked off with the spaces, which are the vein of my existence. Some of them are 4 hours long. Fuck you bitches for doing that. Keeping everybody's time all tied up in some drama shit, but thanks anyway, because, hey, here we are. Now, if anybody has any good theories in the chat of what you think, evidence-wise, that you have heard, for instance, Hellcat in the chat, what's been the speculation over there in Payette County that you're aware of this alleged evidence? It would be great to know from the locals who matter the most in this case, because they're the potential witnesses outside of, neighbors and things like that. I'd love to hear your side of things. Hellcat says the Summer Wells case has seriously turned into a circus the last couple of days. It's always been, though. It was purposely done so, just like the Michael Vaughan case. No doubt. Now, I know this is very boring stuff, but I'm glad that you stayed here, because we're going to talk about, in a member's live, some very interesting information that I highly suggest you member up. And it's not because I need memberships. I've never really done that much starting the Michael Vaughan case. However, there is sensitive information that should not always be talked about openly, but the conjecture would be great to hear your side of why an important person or persons did not see Michael Vaughan after 4:00. That would be great. And how did the information that was supposed to be private between a minor, right? The information that was allegedly leaked. How did that get out to someone, and how did it not, how was it not recognized from the family members? I think it has a lot of people shaking in their boots about that because they know who it is. They know who is complicit in that, in my opinion only. But I would love to hear your side of things because you could actually speak freely without people making you feel like you're insignificant for asking these questions, because they will do that to you. People on this platform will make you feel like the questions that you ask aren't worth it because they know better. But I think in a private members only, I think it would be a lot less stressful, and we could actually have some good conjecture, not drama. I think that's what I would want for Michael. Hellcat says, there hasn't been much talk here. It's taken on an entire new crazy. I still have MJ's missing picture in my car window. Oh, that's nice. And a few people will comment on how sad this case is and how quiet it is. Aha. Well, I think a lot of people have been really scared to put out this specific, and maybe not scared, but they don't want to rehash this because I think because it involves witnesses or lack of what was seen witnesses, that people don't want to cover it. And it does involve minor children. But it's not involving them per se, as in they are speaking, people are speaking on their behalf, which is, it makes you feel a little icky, right? It does for me. However, I am almost positive getting justice for Michael is the most important. So I would hope and assume that that would be the forefront. And what am I talking about? Well, there is a person close to the family at one point in time that had to speak on some drama, but some things that were said. And they really didn't want to be outed for who they were talking to and about. But it's time, I think. I think it's just time. I really do. Because they have a voice, they have a right. And I think that maybe what she says holds a huge key, because I've already listened to it about twice, and it was 3 hours long. And I heard something that really shook me. So I'm going to premiere that in about 5 or 6 hours. So keep a lookout for that premiere. Just make sure that you hit that like button if you're going to watch Lurkers in the Back. So I'm going to catch up at chat and get out of here. Skedaddle, if you will, because it's cold and Mr. Eve needs a break. But that's still messed up to take a child. Well, yeah, of course. But we need to know who and when and why. I don't think it's beyond a possibility that someone could see a child out alone, especially if more than once and they think they need to intervene. Well, and then you have CCTV footage that could maybe capture at least something. Right? Well, Eve's mentioned that a couple years ago. What? Excuse me, what was it? If a stranger ever had one of my minor children's phone numbers, there would be 10 kinds of hell to pay. Girl. Oh, well, who does that though? Like, deep, who does that? I don't. I would never. That's just not right. Especially when you are being scrutinized, right? In the middle of all this. At the time. Every question is worth it. Thank you, Hellcat. Not everyone agrees. They think they know everything. I still have Monkey's missing picture. Oh yeah, I already read that. Sorry. So let me wrap up, guys. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Again, I'm going to premiere that space, Twitter space. That's very important. I already have December 19th, 2021. We'll just go over that on a premiere over time. But I really hope, I really, really hope something breaks through, because if it doesn't break open, or the grand jury doesn't make a decision, or whatever the shit is that's going on right now, we're really back at square one. And it's about Michael, not tweezels, not feelings, not rehashing the basics. It's just really getting into what's going to happen if we don't do the basics for the people that don't know, because they're important. Did Michael have any known out? I have no idea. Check DMs. Well, guys, I got to go tend to my OnlyFans. Allegedly, I have one. I hope I make a lot of money once I find it. If you could let me know. The shit that I hear sometimes. Yes, ma'am, I will. I'm not a stripper, though. I know that. I know that for a fact. I am not. But the things I have been called, I know. Because that's what I do on YouTube, you know. When I'm getting tired of the shake my money maker on the webcams, I got to go to YouTube and do true crime stuff and get scrutinized for it on all sides. Yes. Sorry, I can't put that on here for your entertainment, but it has to exist first. All right, guys, you know, as I say, drink your water, hug yourself, your babies, your fur babies, your grandbabies. Let's get justice for these missing kids and anyone who is missing. It's worth a shot. And I will see you on the next live. It's on the street, so it's true, right? Yeah, that's right. And please keep safe. Don't drive if you don't have to, because this Arctic blizzard is fucking nuts. I will see you guys on the next live. Much love to you. Bye.
She works hard for the money, so hard for the money. I work hard for the money, so you better treat me right.
Oh, that's right.
Lowered expectations.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.